Hello, welcome everyone to our very first live movie chats. Here with my good friends Buddy and Geoff. How you going, boys?
Good.
It's
Yourself?
it's good. It's gonna be interesting. We typical Uncle Wayno style. We're not 100% sure what we're gonna do tonight, but we do have a lot more structure than we do on the normal Sunday lives. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Pretty keen to get into it. Back to the Future, my favorite movie of all time. So made sense to do it first, but realistically, we did it first because I came up with a mock thumbnail, and then I was just like, movie chats isn't even what we're going to call it. We hadn't decided, and then it's just like, oh fuck it, I've already made the thumbnail. Let's just call it that and go with Back to the Future first. Made
Quality.
it a bit. We got 15 people in already. Say hello to the chat. Leanne, how you going? My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit. Yeah, totally. Barney, how you going, mate? If my calculations are correct, this is going to be great. Yeah. Western Picker, talking to him during the week. Back to the Future is his favourite movie as well. So, Bax, how you going? Lil Chels, hello, how you going? Aussie Tip Rat, how you going? Pat, how you going? Met Pat on the weekend. Ripper bloke. Probably have him on the show one day, I reckon. Jazzy, how you going? Recovered from your lawn mowing. Bianca, how you going? Bradley. And Scotty Garvin, my man, how you going? Cool. All right, we got 18 in. We'll get stuck into it. We don't really know how this is going to go. I'll read out the just a little blurb on Internet Movie Database. Marty McFly, a 17-year-old high school student, is accidentally sent 30 years into the past in a time-traveling DeLorean invented by his close friend, the maverick scientist Doc Brown. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I like the word maverick is never used anywhere in the movie. Good to see you, Buddy and Geoff. Judda's here. How are you?
Welcome.
Kelly, how you going? Rack Raiders. It's Bill Collins showing your age. Rack Raiders. So we all watched the movie. Let us know in the chat if you watched it. I'll be really interested to know if you guys actually watched it, or if you just already seen it, or you just didn't give a fuck. You just thought you'd rock up without watching it. But it'll be interesting to know. We're gonna at the end of the show we're gonna announce next week's movie, which we haven't decided on yet.
Does Geoff know what it is?
No, that's the first time I've heard that we're announcing the next one.
So, we forgot to talk about it before the show.
I think maybe we just count to three and we all say a movie each and see if we come up with the same one.
Yeah. So this is true. Some guy at a party made me watch some of it. Seen 10 minutes of it the other night. I've seen it plenty of times that we watched the other night. Yes, exactly the same. I did my homework. Great to watch it again. Yeah, we're all at Judda's. Like if people saw my video today, we're all at Judda's the other night, and we all went thrifting during the day, and then we came home in the early hour and we're knackered. Someone said put something on the TV, so I grabbed the remote, put Back to the Future on, and then at the end of the night, everyone. Well, not at the end of the night. About 11:30, 12 o'clock, we're all sitting outside, and a few people were getting on it. I said to Bianca, I'm cooked. And she's like, me too. She's like, I want to watch the end of that movie. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. So we went in the lounge room and watched the end of the Back to the Future while people were outside having a party. Didn't watch it in prep, but have seen it in the past. I've seen it bucket loads, you chicken. Can we involve TV shows? Possibly, but I think we'll stick to movies for the start. Ponderous Pufferfish, where's that stupid octopus? I thought that he would have been here to witness this train wreck. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not here. I watched it in 3 different sessions on Judda's couch. Yeah, we watched it in like 3 parts. So yeah, I thought we'd go through the movie a little bit. Like, some of the scenes in this movie are so amazing. Like, I think what I love the most about this movie is like they don't make movies like this anymore, especially family movies. Like, this is basically a family movie. It is a sci-fi adventure, time travel, whatever. But essentially, it's a family movie. Every video store I worked in, it was always in the family section. And they just don't put the effort in these days, I don't think, to these sort of movies. There's a lot of thought and preparation goes into every shot, basically. I don't know. Well, I say that, but I don't watch family movies that are recent. I don't know if you guys do. Do you guys watch anything like sort of similar? You know, if it's similar that's more recent?
Not really.
No, not particularly, but I get what you mean. Like, if I do watch a family movie, it seems it's tacky or it's over the top, aimed really at kids and not so much trying to engage everybody. Like, another good movie like that was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I thought when I was a kid, like, that was a good family movie.
There was heaps back then. They're just like, they actually were. Like, they actually made family movies. They don't really make them anymore. They just basically make kids movies now, don't they? Like you just said, like, it's sort of tacky and
they're not the same anymore. No,
everything's changed with like streaming as well. Like, because the movie that really fucked the movie industry. Like, money wise, like, they can't rely on DVD sales and shit to make their money back anymore. So they need to drop their budgets and shit.
You know, Rick and Morty was loosely based on Back to the Future.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Closest thing you'll get these days.
Opening scene is epic. I love the opening scene where it just goes through all the clocks. Like, this is what I mean. Like, they would never put this sort of effort in these days to this sort of movie. Like,
it was funny watching that opening scene because I've seen the clocks and I was thinking to myself, this is such a great opening scene because it's talking about the clocks from different time eras through the whole thing, sort of giving this whole dimension of like the traveling through time within the first 30 seconds of the film. Because I was trying to be serious when I was watching this. I was like, let's fucking analyze this. And that's when I noticed like the 1,500 product placements within the first 3 minutes with Burger King and KFC, Buddy Mountain Dew and all of that sort of stuff, which I never really paid attention before.
There's heaps of Pepsi throughout the whole movie.
Every scene has a Pepsi.
Yeah, Pepsi.
I said to you boys in the chat, maybe that's why I love Pepsi so much. It worked. Their product placement worked on me.
Just burned in the memory.
Yeah. It's amazing to think they got over 40 rejections to make the movie. Family movie, you say. Disney knocked it back because they considered it too raunchy. Actually, Disney were the only ones. All the other companies knocked it back because it wasn't raunchy enough. Because at the time, like Revenge of the Nerds and all these sort of movies were coming out. So like they wanted more movies like that. So that's why most of the companies knocked it back. But Disney knocked it back because it was too raunchy. Because it's basically all about incest.
There are some pretty heavy themes in there that when you're a kid you don't really think about.
Rapey, don't you think?
Yeah. As long as they don't do a remake with a woman cast instead. Well, they will never do a remake while the Bobs are alive. Bob Zemeckis and Bob Gale. They wrote and directed. Bob Zemeckis directed it. The other two Bobs wrote it. They've both said they will never, ever make a remake or a reboot while they are alive. And it'll only be if their kids need money down the track when they're dead. Because they own the character. So no one can ever do it.
Good.
You don't think when Robert Zemeckis carts it, they're going to just offer a shitload of money to his family to...
Well, that's basically it. That's what they've said. They both have to die, Zemeckis and Bob Gale. And then it'll be up to their family. But I would assume that their family, their kids, well, at least their kids, will have enough money that they won't want to do it themselves. So,
money talks.
Yeah. The Easter eggs over the three movies is amazing. Yeah. Women ruin everything, Scotty.
I was actually reading a pretty macabre fan theory about the doc that the scene where they're first testing the car and the car's coming straight at him, that the doc at that moment realized that he failed in every like sort of invention that he'd made, and it was like a weird murder suicide thing he was about to engage in, and it worked, and he was like, "Yo, amazing! Like finally, one of my inventions worked." And then the movie went on, and I was just like, "That's pretty
amazing.
twisted fucking view on the whole thing." But it could be plausible because he did make a lot of things that didn't work or semi-worked, but he got that one going.
The Saw series is more family orientated. Hey Daniel, how you going?
Hey Daniel.
The disgusting dog food tipping out is the best part. Yeah, that made me hungry again.
That's gross.
If you want a Pepsi, you got to pay for it, pal. Just give me a tab.
Yeah.
Have any of you seen the TV show called The Movies That Made Us on Netflix?
Yeah. I thought that was great.
There's an episode about the Back to the Future on it, and I'd recommend it if anyone feels like watching it.
What was it called?
The show is called The Movies That Made Us, and there's an episode on Netflix based on Back to the Future and the whole process of how they got it made. Just about the script writing process all the way to getting it greenlit and filming and everything.
Yeah, sweet. I'll have to check that out.
That's really good.
Any family movie with a John Williams score just gives me the ultimate nostalgic fuzzies. Yeah. Disney Pixar animated films have pretty much replaced a lot of the live action. That's probably true, yeah.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Were, but no, it's Spaceman from Pluto reporting for duty. Yes, that's what the studio boss wanted to call the movie. Apparently, he sent over notes that said no one would watch a movie with future in the title, and he wanted to call it Spaceman from Pluto.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He had a few other suggestions, and so Steven Spielberg sent him back a letter that said, "Oh, thanks for the hilarious suggestions. We all had a good laugh. It was a great joke. Blah blah blah." And then he didn't want to admit that he was telling the truth, so he let them go with their original.
That is so clever.
Yeah,
they actually cover that in that TV show.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I'll catch up with the chat. You don't want to give the interests of the mother, yeah. And like, hi, Cara. Cara's still drunk. That would not surprise me. And he burned his house down for the insurance money to fund her. I didn't hear that. Hassan, how you going? Thank goodness they didn't keep Eric Stoltz in the main role. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Eric Stoltz stuff. He's in Pulp Fiction. He's in a bunch of stuff. But yeah, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked with him. Like I think Johnny Depp read for the part at one point. Yeah, but Eric Stoltz. Yeah, apparently. Oh, they shot for 6 weeks with Eric Stoltz, and then they reached.
Yeah.
So apparently, even he agreed that it wasn't working. All right. So we move on. We went through the opening scene. Probably the next big scene is. I've got notes here and I can't read word notes because they're really shorthand.
Oh yeah, those notes where you're right. Yeah, I'll totally know what that means when I come back and read it again.
Yeah. So he goes to school because he's late. And he gets in trouble and shit. And then he goes to band practice. And he plays Power of Love, which was written by Huey Lewis. And Huey Lewis is the guy that says, "Oh, it's not going to work. You're just too darn loud." So
I didn't actually know they were in the movie. I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know that was him?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's Huey Lewis. He stands up and says, "Sorry, you're just too darn loud."
That's great. I didn't know that either.
Oh, really?
No.
I thought it was reasonably common knowledge, but yeah, it's pretty cool. He wrote The Power of Love and Back in Time, the end credits song. He wrote them both for the movie. apparently he wrote a different song and they hated it. And then he wrote The Power of Love, and then he wrote Back in Time after he'd watched the movie. They showed him the movie. John Williams' Star Wars was actually inspired by an orchestral album in 1917 named The Planets. It's so similar, it's unreal. Wow, I didn't know that either. Yes, Huey is the judge. And then we go home. He goes home, and we see Biff and his dad, and Biff roughing up his dad for the first time. Biff's got that old. He's got all the old makeup on. Tom Wilson plays Biff. He's fucking amazing as Biff, I reckon. I don't think anyone else could have done it. He still lives off Back to the Future, travels around and goes to Comic-Cons and shit. Apparently he's got a postcard that he gives when people ask him a question. He's got a postcard that he gives them, and it's just got all the most commonly asked questions he gets. He's got sick of getting asked the same fucking questions all the time. You think that McFly would have gone back and eradicated any clown that wants to eat the frosted pies? I did eat 6 pies straight out of the freezer on Saturday. Just to prove a point. They were defrosted, but yeah, I defrosted them overnight. I could not get one person to do it with me.
So you ate a cold pie.
Poor effort, guys.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. Just defrosted out of the freezer. They're pre-cooked. Like, it's the same as cooking them and then letting them go cold.
Yeah, I know, but they still taste like shit then.
I agree.
You're the kid at the end of the party eating all the cold party pies.
That's me at the end of every party.
When he raised the freezer.
Make like a tree, get out of here. Yeah. Apparently that was ad-libbed. He ad-libbed that line, apparently. Jada told me today that Eli wants to eat cold pies now because his uncle did it.
Oh, goodness.
There we go, Leanne. I've got one. All right. So, yeah. I mean, it just sets the tone for... Not the tone, but it sets the story up. Biff's the bully, you know.
He does it so good, too. Like, he plays such a good prick. Like, you hate him instantly. As soon as you see him on screen, you're just like, oh, I cannot stand this. Yeah. But that's the one line I'd probably say the most out of the whole film is like, hello, McFly!
And then, of course, they go to the mall to test the time machine, which was originally going to be a fridge. I think originally it was going to be a laser or in a room or something, and then it was going to be in a fridge, which just would have been so stupid. Like, it wouldn't have worked. And they chose the DeLorean obviously because it has those doors. And the doors would make it more believable in 1955 that people would be freaked out about it, you know. I did seem keeping it cold. Cold is not the same as defrosted. Yes, it is.
It's just a little bit colder.
Oh yeah, Jeff's impression was great.
Yeah, I'm a prick in disguise.
Jeff's got a lot of good impressions. You'll probably see him over the weeks.
What else are you hiding?
I was probably busy buying potato off Iranian. They're not Iranians. They're Libyans. I think they changed it. Apparently they changed it recently for a TV release. I don't know. I can't remember. Because it was not politically correct or some shit. I don't know how.
Yeah, that's what the movie is.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't want kids getting stuck in fridges. That's part of the reason why they changed it.
Oh yeah, that's how stupid the world is. I can see why they would have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't long ago. Freaking kids were eating Tide Pods for fun. A few years ago. What are they called? Are they Tide Pods? The washing machine.
Yeah, the washing machine
Biscuits. So yeah, obviously the Libyans rock up. It's just so funny. There's so many like I don't know, like I absolutely love the movie, but there's just some of the storylines like the Libyans rocking up with fucking all these guns and shit to chase down Doc is more unbelievable than an actual time machine going back in time.
I know it's crazy, and then they're in a combi van too, which is associated with hippie and peace and love. And then you got these terrorists with rocket launchers.
At least it wasn't a hot time. I actually like that movie. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh shit, that one.
Yeah, I can't remember it, but I'll watch it again.
They made a second one.
Sorry.
They made a second Hot Tub Time Machine movie.
Yeah, I've seen them both. I can't remember.
Yeah. The first one was passable. The second one was dog water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, obviously, he gets chased by the Libyans, and he goes back in time to 1955, where his parents are, and he runs into his dad and Biff in the coffee shop, and he asks for a Pepsi, Pepsi free.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you got a Pepsi, you got to have to pay for it. The scene with the back of the truck opens up, the DeLorean comes out. It's pretty cool. Yeah, the DeLorean's pretty cool just in most scenes that it's in, really, isn't it? Like, but yeah, I love the bit in the coffee shop where so Biff comes in and he roughs up George and stuff, and then he leaves. When he leaves, this is like one of my favorite shots in the whole movie when like Marty he's just realized it's George. George goes back to eating, and it's a side-on view. The camera's a side-on view of George, and you just see Marty's head just slowly come around looking at him. I just love that shot. Like you just wouldn't see that in
the realization.
Yeah, like just there's so much thought put into that, like into that one shot. It just looks amazing, and I got a big ass TV. All the action sequences and everything, and that's one of my favorite shots in the whole film.
There's quite a lot of scenes like that where you just sort of see his reaction sort of off the center of everything that's happening.
Yeah,
I always thought that was he always did that so good. In his acting, just little subtle nuances he does with his facial expressions, even when he's not the main part of the scene.
And that's why they picked him over Eric.
Yeah. We should point out too, like the so originally they wanted Michael J. Fox, and he couldn't get out of Family Ties. It was like the number one show on television, so he just couldn't get out of it. So they got Eric Stoltz. And then, like, because one of the girls on Family Ties wasn't in it much because she was pregnant. So they got Eric Stoltz, and then by the time they ditched Eric Stoltz, the chick had come back to Family Ties, so Michael wasn't doing as much. And they just agreed so the producer from Family Ties agreed to let him do it. He did as much as he could overnight. So he worked all day on Family Ties. And he got picked up and he got driven to the movie set and worked all night on Back to the Future. Did it for like 9 weeks. He did the daytime shoots on the weekends. I think he was working on a couple hours sleep every night. Like he just would have been absolutely exhausted.
Just a machine.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how they.
It worked out for him.
The only way they were able to get him, and it worked out really well. Like, obviously, in the end, honestly, the movie is the reason most of us know what a DeLorean is.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
So apparently, they make them now new, and they come with a flux capacitor. It doesn't actually do anything.
As if you wouldn't cash in on that.
Yeah. I wonder if her begs over grunts. That's my mum. Hi, Mum. How you going? Thank you.
When is Mum?
I did see recently there was an advertisement for watches, DeLorean watches that they're making out of the first DeLorean built or something for collectors of
Really?
yeah.
That's
I don't know how much it is, but I just thought that's crazy. Like the first DeLorean, and they're turning them into watches to make more cash off it.
That's crazy. People have got like, asteroids that have crashed to Earth. They got little pieces of that and stuff. Oh, I've got a bit of the very first DeLorean.
Yeah,
they're gonna milk that DeLorean down to the last bolt.
Sorry.
They're gonna milk the original DeLorean down to the last bolt.
Yeah, that's it. My DeLorean transforms from Hasbro, so good. Scotty, the man of toys, knows every toy on the planet. So yeah, and then the movie moves on, and George is spying on bloody chicks in the trees with his.
And it's so sketchy, isn't it? We're like, today's standards, it's sort of like you wouldn't help him. You'd probably, give him a slap across the back of the head.
Yeah. And then, he pulled out of the tree. He's supposed to get hit by the car, and then Lorraine falls in love with him or whatever. But Marty bloody saves him, and then he gets hit by the car, and that fucks everything up. And it's kind of where the movie starts. Like the movie's really about. I just got a cramp. The movie's really about him trying to get his parents together, basically.
Oh yeah.
Get this crap. So yeah, and then there's a few awkward scenes with his mum, and she's in love with him, and she keeps thinking his name's Calvin Klein because he's got Calvin Klein jocks on. Apparently in the 50s, it was a trend to write your name on your jocks or something. I don't know, or they sold them that way or something. So apparently it's kind of a joke based on that. But it kind of helps with the end game where, like, we'll talk about it later. Like there's a bit of talk about. There's always been a bit of talk about how his parents don't remember him at the end of the movie. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's sort of been explained. Like, they went through all this stuff and then he changed their lives. And they don't remember him when he comes back.
Their son looks like the guy that helped them.
Yeah. But then when you think, like I read an interview with Zemeckis, I think it was, or it might have been Gale, and he said, think about it. When you think back to when you were 17, and you knew someone for 8 days, you didn't even see them all of those 8 days. You only saw them a couple of them. Would you remember them? Would you remember exactly what they look like? Like, you probably wouldn't. Like, and then they thought his name was Calvin Klein as well. They did realize his name later on, but it is plausible that people wouldn't remember. But I think they kind of do. Like, I just feel like they do, the way they look at him at the end. But anyway, we jumped way forward.
You feel better? You got that off your chest?
Yeah. I found your name on your jokes of the weekend. Didn't know your name was Betty there. They watched him grow up. It's all context. So yeah, and then he has to go to the docks, and try and figure out how the fuck he's going to get back home. Doc doesn't believe him. He's trying to do a mind reading thing that doesn't work. And then he eventually convinces him that he's from the future, and I can't really remember what happens after that.
Well, that's when they talk about the time paradox and, not to interfere with anything.
Yeah.
And then, then he works out that I've already seen my mum, I've already seen my dad. I've already been like entangled in everything. And that's when they just go like, show me the photograph, and they can see the kids are starting to disappear. And then that's when the urgency kicks in that he needs to get his mum and dad to fall in love, otherwise he's not going to exist.
Yeah, exactly. And he has to go. They go to the school. He has to go to school and try and convince George to ask Lorraine out to the dance. And then while they're at the school, Biff is annoying Lorraine, and Marty comes over and nearly gets in a punch on with him, and that just makes her like him even more. So yeah, then I've lost my notes here. Hang on. I don't even need notes. I've seen the movie like 100 times.
Yeah, you've like memorized it.
Yeah. And then Marty goes to fucking George's house in the middle. He's trying to convince him, like to ask her out and shit, and he won't do it because his favorite TV show is going to be on. He's going to miss it. It's just something I would do. He goes to his house dressed up in the bloody hazmat suit or whatever it's called. And he plays Eddie Van Halen and says that his name is Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan to convince him to go and ask Lorraine out. I saw in the trivia thing that Van Halen, the band, refused to let them use any of their music. But Eddie Van Halen gave them some guitar stuff to use. And that's why it says on the tape Edward Van Halen, because they weren't allowed to just use the name Van Halen.
So they could just use a little bit if they wanted to.
Sorry?
They could only use a little bit, but like they didn't let them have everything.
Yeah. Yeah, but if they thought they remembered him and total trouble wasn't a thing that they want to admit, they'd be put in a nut house probably. So yeah, then George is on board. He's gonna go ask Lorraine out, go to the coffee house, and everyone's in there, and Biff walks in, and fucking Marty trips him over. I don't understand why he does that. Like, he's looking out for his dad, but at the same time, he's trying to get his dad and his mum together, and all he's going to do is make his mum like him even more by tripping him over. But he does it, and then he obviously there's the big car chase scene with skateboard, which is pretty iconic. It's in the second movie as well with the hoverboard. He goes and just steals the fucking thing off the kid, breaks the top of it off, and makes it a skateboard. And then Biff and his goons drive straight into the big truck full of shit. And you go, that shit. Special effects really stood up who he is.
Yeah, I agree. The special effects in the film are great.
A lot of these old school movies, you can tell like they're special effects, but they still look better than fucking half the CGI that comes out today. No worries, man. Thanks for jumping on. Yeah, Biff's goons. Did you guys recognize who one of the goons is?
I don't know if I was paying that much attention. Who was it?
Billy Zane.
Oh my god! I remember seeing the credits that Billy Zane was in it, and for the life of me, I was trying to think, where the fuck is Billy Zane in this film? And then I totally forgot about it, and now I've got the picture of who it is.
Yeah, I didn't notice while watching at all.
Yeah, it's his first ever movie, I think, and he doesn't have a line. I think he has a line in the second movie or something, but he doesn't have a line in this one. So yeah, and then obviously the movie moves on, and we get to the Marty goes to the dance with Lorraine. They form a new plan to get George to beat up Marty, so Lorraine will fall for him then. But Biff intercepts and he jumps in the car. Well, we skip past the bit where she kisses him, and she's like, oh, it's like I'm kissing my brother. Does that sound weird? And he's like, not at all. But yeah, Biff intercepts, and George doesn't know. George rocks up to the car thinking it's Marty, and turns out it's Biff. And that's one of the biggest scenes in the movie, probably because, I mean, that's where it all changes. Everything changes for the better. George actually whacks him, knocks him out, and and the plan ends up kind of working because Lorraine falls for him. Marty gets locked. They take Marty and lock him in the boot of the car, and then the guitarist just happens to cut his hand open on the boot, trying to get the boot open to get him out. Weird question, Octopus. There is a Region 3. It's Asia. George has the courage to punch Biff as the punch was spiked. I don't know what you mean. And yeah, so they still have to he has to get up on stage to play so that they can still kiss. They need to kiss for them to get back together. And it eventually works. His brother and sister are coming off, losing bits of their bodies on the photo, and they eventually kiss, and it all comes back, and then he gets up and plays Johnny Be Good, which was written by Chuck Berry, and old Marv goes out the back and rings Chuck Berry.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
That new sound you've been looking for.
That's a little good Easter egg.
I did notice his voice was dubbed for the singing. Yes, I can't remember who. It was a singer from a band, did all the singing. But apparently, Crispin Glover, who played George, it was his first movie, and he was super nervous. And apparently, and that helped his character because his character was nervous. But apparently, he was so nervous that he had to mouth some of his lines, and then they did audio dubs later on after the movie was finished shooting because he couldn't speak properly.
Do you remember the reason why Crispin Glover was recast for the other movies? I don't remember.
Yeah, he wanted too much money.
Oh.
It was a pretty big mistake. And then he tried to sue them for using him because they used old footage of him.
Yeah.
In number 2 and that, but they used a different guy. He's just sort of in the background in the second one in a few scenes, and they used a different guy. And they've got him upside down and shit, so you can't even really tell. But yeah, he wanted too much money, and so they just told him to get fucked, and they rewrote it. They wrote him out of it. Basically, he's still in it, but they kind of wrote him out of it.
All I know is he's just been salty ever since.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was his mistake.
Yeah.
So, and then all that happens, and Marty goes to try and get home. And of course, at the clock tower, where the lightning's beneath the clock tower, and nothing goes right. Everything goes wrong in that whole scene. The power cord comes out, so Doc has to go up there. Then Marty has to go back to the car. He's not going to get there in time. Then the fucking bit he's standing on the clock tower breaks. Then the fucking he gets the power cord in, and then it unplugs down the bottom. And then the car won't start. Literally everything goes wrong.
Anything that could go wrong. They managed to turn a scene that could have gone for 2 minutes into like a 15-minute scene just from everything going wrong.
Yeah. And then obviously it all works, and he gets back. People think Chad got more info than me. He sued them and it was settled out of court. Changed the way contracts for actors were written. No. Okay, cool. You're either into Crispin Glover or you're lying.
I think he's a great actor.
Yeah, I like him. I haven't seen a lot of his movies, to be honest. I've seen a few. I couldn't even tell you what other ones I've seen, to be honest.
He definitely does. He's definitely the king of weird. Like, he can turn any character and make you feel uneasy about the character in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of interviews with him. I don't think he's the nicest bloke going around. He seems like a bit of a dick.
Yeah, I picked that up too.
Yeah, but pretty arrogant. But I mean, he's still a good actor. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, look, I like what he's same as Tom. Like, I can't stand Tom Cruise as a person, but I think just about everything he's in, I'm like, fuck you, Tom. You're a good actor. I can't stand you, but geez, that was a good performance.
I don't. Yeah, I hate Tom Cruise as well, but I like a lot of his. I don't like all of his movies, but I do like.
Gives it his all.
Sorry.
He at least Tom Cruise, he gives every movie he's in like everything. He gives it all. Yeah.
He's gonna die one day. He's gonna die on a movie set doing a stunt. Everyone's gonna be like, "Whoa!" Everyone's gonna be like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" And it's like, "Well, couldn't you see it coming?" He's been hanging off fucking planes and shit. All right. The end of the movie gets back to he wakes up in the morning and his fucking parents are like really classy and shit. Life's great and everything. Biff's fucking waxing his dad's car and shit. He's got his truck to go out for the weekend with Jennifer.
The Toyota.
Yeah. And then Doc rocks up again, telling him he has to come back to the future because there's something wrong with his kids. And he's putting fucking fuel in his car and in the DeLorean and shit. And they both get in the car and they fly off. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
The classic iconic line.
Yeah. Interesting. I was reading today. They never planned to do a second and third one, so that wasn't meant to be a to be continued. It was just meant to be an extra joke on the end of the movie. It never originally had to be continued come across the screen. They added that in for the VHS release later on. So they said that if they had have planned to do the second and third ones, they wouldn't have had Jennifer get in the car as well because they didn't want her to go. Like that's why it's in the second one.
They knock her out pretty much straight away.
Yeah, he knocks her out as soon as they get to the fucking theater.
She's already asking too many questions.
Yeah. So yeah, and then they end up filming the second and third ones back to back. They filmed them together. So no wonder he's at our choose. Full name is Crispin Hellion Glover. So that's it. We went through the whole movie. I don't know if people want us to do this. Like we went through it pretty rough, just sort of here and there. I just picked some scenes out. It went for about half an hour. So let us know in the chat if you like talking about it this way or if you prefer us to do it a different way. We don't really know 100% how we're going to do it each week yet. Yeah, 2 and 3.
It'll take some time to find our footing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So we have a couple more segments that we're going to do. We're going to do our top fives. We don't know what each other have picked. So we're going to do a top 5 every week, and it's going to be related to whatever movie we just watched in a way. So this week we're doing top 5 time travel movies. That just sort of makes sense. So I don't know. We don't know each other's, so I'm interested to find out what you guys put. I know you guys would have put way different to me. Well, probably way different to me. Who wants to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. You're leading the show.
All right, I'll go first. Mine's just like there's no real fourth and fifth. Like people probably wouldn't guess, but the first 3 are just obvious. Number 1, Back to the Future. It's just my favorite movie ever. So yeah, so it's pretty obvious. Number 2 is T2. T2 is another one of my favorite movies. Terminator 2. That's another one of those movies I've watched probably 100 times. Like I had it on video when I was a kid, just watched it over and over again. And number 3 is the original Terminator.
No surprise there.
I wasn't gonna put it in. Like I wasn't gonna put it in. I'm like, but it's just that it's there. Like it is there. Like that's what it is. So, 4 and 5 are a bit different. Number 4, I've got Predestination with Ethan Hawke and Sarah.
I thought about that one actually.
I fucking love that movie. I've seen it a few times now. If anyone hasn't seen Predestination, I highly recommend going to watch it. I'm a big Ethan Hawke fan.
Yeah, same. I think he's one of those guys that turns everything to gold. Even if it's shit, it's still pretty good. If it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. I'm enjoying hearing you chat about the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, cool. I find that stuff really interesting. My last one is Frequency. I've just seen this.
Oh, is that the Kevin Bacon one?
No.
That's what's his name? I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. Yeah, and, I always thought he was like the oh fuck, I can't even think now. I'm that tired. Oh, Harrison Ford. I used to always think he was like the Harrison Ford lookalike when I was a kid. Yeah, the Wish.com version.
Yeah. Yeah, I just really like that movie with Jim Caviezel in it as well. Like, I've seen it a lot of times. It's one of those movies that I just every few years I might watch that again. Like, yeah, it's a different kind of time travel. It's not really any time travel, really. It's all over a radio. Talking to his dead father. His dead father died 20 years ago, however long ago it is. And talking to him through a radio that he found in his basement, his dad's basement, and they're trying to change basically how things happened. They basically try to solve murders and change the way things happen. So Predestinatino and these files are phenomenal movies. Sarah Snook from Adelaide, I didn't know that. Yeah, she's awesome in it.
Adelaide represent.
Hey.
Adelaide represent.
Yeah. Good call at Predestination. Is that because of Ethan Hawke? I don't know. You tell us. Can you review Judda's Christmas film? I needed explain. Judda even tried to explain his Christmas film to us on the weekend, and we still didn't understand it. I never watched the series.
There was a series.
I didn't. Yeah,
I forgot to ask if you'd seen the show. It got cancelled after one season, but it was alright for what it was.
So it wasn't that great.
It was a show.
I mean, good shows get like Firefly got cancelled after one season. That was phenomenal.
I don't think he even knows what's going on. No, he doesn't. All right, so that's my 5. I thought Buddy before. I thought about it for about 20 seconds. I thought about it for about 20 seconds, and then I googled best time travel movies, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's going to be my 5 anyway. So it was a love story. All right, who wants to go next?
You go, buddy. You go.
All right, I'll go. Can you hear me all right? Because Chelsea says I cut out sometimes.
You're a little bit quiet, but you can hear you now, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try and speak clearly. So I tried to pick a couple that everyone knows, but also put a couple different genres in there where some people might not have heard of. So I tried to change it up a bit. All right, my number 5 is a German comedy from 2015 called Look Who's Back. It is about Adolf Hitler. He just randomly appears in present day, and present day Germany, and it's a comedy. And essentially, like, he's just going around doing random funny shit on the streets of Germany, and no one like believes it's him. They just think it's like some comedian like pulling a stunt. I don't think it's on streaming anymore, but it used to be on Netflix. So you might have to torrent it. But if you want a good laugh, watch this like Hitler comedy. My number 4 is About Time, 2013 movie directed by Richard Curtis, who did Love Actually. Have any of you seen it?
I don't know.
I don't think I've seen. I think no, I've heard about it. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah.
Who's in it?
So at first glance, it's a rom-com. It has Domhnall Gleeson, Rachel McAdams, and Margot Robbie in it. At first glance, it's like just a generic rom-com, but it has Bill Nye in it too. He plays a big part. But at its core, it's like a loving story between a father and his son. And it's essentially he tries to time travel back to change his life. It turns out that once he has a child, he can't travel back before his child is born. So it gets to a point where once his child is born, he can't visit his dad in the past anymore. So if you want like a loving story between a father and his son, I highly recommend About Time. Don't judge it on its poster. It's on I think it's on Netflix and Stan.
Cool.
Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm just like mumbling and rambling and shit.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I normally negotiate with a different genre of film.
Yeah, I'm just trying to change up a bit. All right, number 3 is Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put it as number 1 because I thought that would just be the go-to. What can you say? Just Terminator 2, just amped up a bit. Yeah.
That's like my top 3 is just like, well, this is just so fucking obvious. But
I think everyone knows Terminator 2, but
yeah. But that's it. So that's what it is. So
yeah, Terminator 2, fantastic. Every time you watch it.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Predestination.
Nice.
Yeah, I think as much as I go to the cinema every week, Predestination is one of the movies I didn't know anything about. Didn't know it was being made. And I just like went to the cinema one day and was like, what's this movie playing? Oh, it has Ethan Hawke in it. Let's give it a go. And I was like, fantastic. Highly recommend watching it.
Movies.
Oh, yeah. Highly recommend watching it without knowing anything about it. Just that Ethan Hawke's in it, and it's a time travel movie. It's on. Pardon?
I was the same. I knew nothing. I didn't see it at the cinema, but I knew nothing about it when I watched it at all.
It is on Netflix, so if anyone wants to watch it. And my number 1 is 2001 movie Donnie Darko.
Yeah, that's a great film.
A fantastic movie. Jake Gyllenhaal, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Jenna Malone. Directed by Richard Kelly. I don't know really how to explain it because I still can't explain the movie. Jake Gyllenhaal makes friends with a guy in a bunny suit and does crazy shit. Even though I can't wrap my head around it, it's a 10 out of 10 movie every time I watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Christian's here. How you going, mate? All right. Jeffrey, what's yours?
So mine aren't in any particular order. And I thought I'd steer away from like the big ones like Terminator 2s and like Back to the Futures. I thought they're just a given in, you know, anyone's sort of film. So one of my favorites is Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness. When he gets sucked in the portal, he goes back in time in medieval times and has to fight the Deadites.
That's why I didn't highlight this comment before, because I thought you might have it.
Yes, one of my favorite films, and it's one of my favorite probably in the franchise as well. It's just hilariously funny. Another one I really, really liked when it came out was Looper with Bruce Willis. I got a little bit of a soft spot there for that because it's kind of like his last really good, coherent movie where he played the role really well. I know it's come out since that he's been sick, but sort of all the films after that, prior to knowing that, I was just like, what's Brucey doing? Like, these are rubbish. But now I understand a little bit more. Another film that I thought was good is a Spanish film. It's called, I think it's Time Crimes, which is about a guy and he sees a a strange woman in the woods, and he goes and follows her, and he meets up with a guy with like pink bandages around his head. And I don't want to give too much away, but it goes on this sort of thriller mind bender adventure where he gets sort of stuck in a bit of a time loop trying to fix things. That was a really good movie. Another one which I thought might have been on at least one of your guys' list was 12 Monkeys.
Yeah, I nearly just left Terminator out and put, because I had already had T2, but it's like if I want to rewatch one of them, I'm probably going to grab Terminator, so I chucked it in. Yeah.
That was one of those. I had no idea what the movie was about when I first watched it, and it just blew me away. I thought it was fantastic. And another film, the last one is a fairly low budget film called Primer, about these guys that are, building a machine, and they sort of stumble across the time machine, and it just gets really crazy towards the end. I still have trouble grasping a lot of everything that's going on, but I thought it was a really clever film, and they're not scared to just not treat the audience like they're stupid. Like, they do make it hard to follow.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Hey, Geoff, have you seen the diagram of the Primer movie, and it's trying to explain coherently what the movie is about? It's like,
no, I have to check it out.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, I watched it again not long ago, because I watch it I think I'm a little bit smarter now. I think I'll watch it and see if I can fully grasp it. And every time I get a little bit closer every time. But yeah, it's a hard one to follow, but it was really good.
I watched it once and I can't remember. I can't remember it at all. So,
some of it's really some of the audio is really bad. Like, there's scenes where they're outside and they're talking, and it sounds like they're actually inside a bathroom. So there's a lot of bad things about the film, but the story actually carries it across. So I thought that was really good.
I totally agree. Trailers spoil movies. I don't watch them at all, really, ever. I base what I want to watch on who made it, who's in it, that sort of thing. Word of mouth a little bit as well. Hey Sarah, better late than never. Bowden, how you going? Bowden actually gave us the idea for doing like a movie of the week or a movie every week. So thanks for that, Bowden. And then you're not getting paid for it. I love 12 Monkeys. I hated the series, personally. I only watched the first few episodes, but yeah. Did you guys see the series?
I think I started as well, and I'm really bad with series. I'll start another series midway through a series, then I totally forget about it.
Yeah.
And then I come back and I'm like, fuck, now I have to start that again. Which really sucks when it's like a TV show where I've watched like the first 6 seasons and there's another new 6 seasons. And I'm like, fuck, I have to start from the start because I can't remember any of this.
I am exactly the same. I did watch a few episodes of the series, but never got back to it.
Yeah. I've seen the first Butterfly Effect. I haven't seen any of the other. I don't even know how many there are. I know there's at least 3.
Might be, there's 3 at least.
3.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the other 2 or any of them?
I have. I rented them on DVD when they came out, but I couldn't tell you much about them.
I'm sure I've seen them, but yeah, I couldn't remember.
Yeah. I mean,
I remember the first one was really good. I did really enjoy it.
I always put it on my list of top 5.
Relate it to Back to the Future. Like, the butterfly effect is the theory that, if you go back in time and even if you kill a butterfly, it can change absolutely everything. Like, Back to the Future they just do not go anywhere near that theory at all. Like, so many different things happen that could just completely change everything. It doesn't. We got some
spam.
Got some spam coming. Gilbert Jane Taylor Lockston, Natasha Kids, Princess Bride, Harry Potter. What are these, Jazz? Can one of my... That's all right. I'll just block the user. I can't block them. An error occurred. Try refreshing page. Okay. They're going to stay there. Can one of my mods just delete those? I'm not 100% sure who my mods are, but I did make some of you guys mods. I'm pretty sure Jazz is. Jazz and Brad, Jada, Kara. All right. We've done our top fives. We'll move on. I got the quiz now. The show's been going for a fair while. We've been going for an hour. Crazy. So I've got the quiz. It's not going to be not time traveling movies I've been told of. I whack the majors go in, you can just still say, okay, cool, thank you. All right, so the quiz is not going to be fucked up like my normal quiz on the Sunday lives where I just do stupid shit. It's actually going to be a real quiz. I think we'll rotate it every week. Like I'll do it one week, then one of you guys do it the next week, whatever, blah, blah. We'll try and keep track. You can join in the chat. There is a 20.
Please help because I'm terrible at quizzes.
There is a 20-second delay. So yeah. So you guys just say your name first and then give the answer. Just sort of gives the chat a chance to catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. First question. This is all Back to the Future. I also wanted to ask the chat. I'll ask after the quiz. You mean there's not a theme with the same answer for every question? No, we're not doing that for this show. First question. How slow are all the clocks at Doc's house at the start?
Jeff, 25 minutes.
Geoff got it. Geoff almost forgot his own name.
Yeah. I was looking at me Ruffers Gats reviews like, well, yeah, me.
Jazz in first. Cal. I guys been watching from a non-responsive source where I'm going to watch Butterfly Effect 2. I don't really appreciate Back to the Future. Maybe one. Kelly doesn't like Back to the Future. We've had a few arguments about it.
Kelly.
What's the name of the mall where they go? Buddy.
Twin Pines Mall.
Twin Pines Mall is correct.
It changes to Lone Pines. Yeah, it's a Lone Pines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, we are on fire.
What's that? One each?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a half point for that.
One each. Who kills the doc at the mall?
Buddy.
Geoff. The Libyans.
I think Buddy got in first.
I was going to say that too.
Well, it was an easy one.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit harder because we haven't mentioned it tonight. Who is the president in 1985?
Geoff. Ronald Reagan.
Yes. That's 2 each. All right, number 5. Buddy kills Doc at the ball.
I know.
The Penguins. Brad still thinks I'm doing fucking stupid animal question. We ain't got it in the chat. Number 5. What's the name of the school dance?
Oh, fuck. What is it called?
Fuck knows.
Neither of you. I wonder if anyone in the chat can get it. No, it doesn't look like it.
Also, I watched Wednesday last night, and all I can think of is the dance that they call that the Raven or whatever it fucking is.
John's close. It's Enchantment Under the Sea.
I would never have fucking guessed that.
Surprised the ponderous pufferfish didn't get it.
Oh, dear.
Dancing McDance face to do with the water, the sea. All right, number 6. What's George's favorite TV show?
It's a science fiction thing. I can't remember the exact fucking name of the show.
Pretty much clear. Pretty clear. I mean, pretty close. I'm trying to say, but science fiction thing is science fiction is in the name. I got a little bit of trivia about this question too. The answer is science fiction theater.
Theater. That's
So the trivia I've got is Michael. So with the Screen Actors Guild, you can't have the same name as you can't be an actor and have the same name as another actor. You have to. That's why there's like Michael J. Fox, Samuel L. Jackson. Like that's why all these actors change their names and stuff. So Michael J. Fox changed his name because there's already a Michael Fox. The original Michael Fox was in science fiction theater in 1955.
it's crazy.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what are you guys? You're still 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
All right, this one's an easy one. Who originally sang Johnny Be Good?
Geoff.
Buddy.
Geoff.
Huey Lewis?
No.
Oh no, fuck, I've got the wrong one.
Berry.
Damn it.
Go, buddy.
Chuck Berry.
Jack
Yeah.
Berry. God, I hate my life.
You had one job.
This one's hard. This one is actually really hard. What's the name of George's new book at the end of the movie? So I shouldn't have put this question in because it's actually really hard.
Can you see my fingers?
I gotta give you both that though. It is A Match Made in Space. Question 9. Buddy's still 1 in front, 3-2. Question 9. What does Doc use for fuel when he comes back?
Geoff.
Buddy.
Garbage.
Yeah. Yep. All right, it's 3-3. We can't have a tie. This one should be a tiebreaker anyway. Last question. Marty's family live where in Hill Valley?
Oh,
Buddy.
fuck.
Buddy.
In a house.
That is the sort of answer I'd have on my on my other show.
What's the name of the estate they live in? I could see the sign. I just can't think of the words. No,
It's not
I don't.
fine. Whoops. No one. It's Lion Estates.
Oh.
I knew it was estates.
So it's a draw. So I haven't got a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, we're just equally as intelligent as each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
What did I say I was going to ask? Oh yeah, I wanted to ask some people in the chat. So when we do the quiz, do you want us to do a quiz that's related to the movie we just did, or do you want us to just do a general movie quiz? Yeah, let us know. I just did it as Back to the Future because I just had a lot going on today and I hadn't done it yet, so I wasn't really sure what we were going to do. But I'll let you guys decide. Hit me up on Insta if you want to. Maybe I'll put a question up on Insta. People can answer it there. How many sessions did it take to watch Back to the Future of the week? And I watched it again today. So I could write some stuff down. So, a quiz about the movie review.
Yeah, I like that. I think that was fun.
All right. Well, maybe we'll just keep it at that. What are we going to do next week? I talked to Buddy. Me and Buddy jumped on a bit earlier because he was trying to get his camera working and stuff. I think you'll be okay with this, Geoff. We were thinking Jingle All the Way.
Fuck yes.
Absolutely.
It's one of my favorite Christmas films of all time.
We're going to do
Stop eating my cookies.
Put my cookie down now.
Put my cookie down now.
Turbo Man.
Yeah, so we're going to do, we already decided we're going to do a Christmas movie next week, but we haven't decided which one. So we're going to do Jingle All the Way. So you guys can, I don't know, you looked at it was on Disney, wasn't it, buddy?
It's on Disney Plus, yeah.
I was on Disney Plus, so if you haven't got Disney Plus, I don't know. Fucking
Torrent it.
just get a trial, a Disney Plus trial, and get it for a week.
Yeah. I bought it on DVD from one of us resellers.
Yeah, there's plenty of resellers, you know. One of them's probably got it. So we'll just related to the theme is good. How about some questions about movie news from the week? Example. Yeah, well, maybe we could mix it up in the trivia and do some from the movie we watched and some other general stuff and general movie trivia. Matching music to movies. Next quiz. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I can't play music or get a copyright. So I could just get Geoff to sing them.
I could do that.
With no music behind. I missed out on a Turbo Man. Maybe that's what happened. It said to your local Blockbuster.
I miss my local Blockbuster.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't have Disney Plus, there's a torrential amount of websites you could go to probably find it. Geoff could do voices, we could guess the character. That'd be cool. Anyway, I got 50 copies for the chat. I think I got Jingle All the Way on VHS. Yes, just get torrents. They work great. That's how I get all my movies, sort of, mostly. I buy them on Blu-ray though, if I can.
Yeah, for backup.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the cheapest Jingle All the Way on eBay is $5.25. So get on it.
Bargain. $5.
Fucking bargain and a half.
Cheaper than streaming.
Yeah.
Showing your age again, Leanne. Stuck up on Independence Day VHS. I'm cornering the market. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching our first show. I did keep an eye on how many were in watching. I don't usually do that, but we had a solid 25 the whole way through the show. So thanks so much, everyone, for watching. It was our first show. I had no idea how many people are actually going to turn up. Definitely give us some feedback. We can change things up or do things a bit differently. We'd love to hear what you guys think. You can hit us up on Instagram or whatever and give us your thoughts. I'll probably put a few posts up on Instagram and ask people, so you can give us your thoughts there. We'd love to hear what everyone thinks. So thanks everyone for watching. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see everyone next week.
Bye. Bang. Take it easy.